Hello there, friends and pals. It is your good, average, gay Duma here, or Wesley, whatever you want to call me. Here to to actually make my speech for Final 2 in Crystal Big Brother. And honestly, I'm still shook. I'm gonna be real, okay? And I'm gonna try to keep this as organized as possible. I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm going to try to be as honest in this as I can. Some things may slip my mind. If they do, call my ass out on them and in questions, and I'll answer them. I know perception is reality. I've been a juror many times, so if y'all are mad at me, I understand that. I do want to also say really quickly, just as in a general thing, that if I hurt anybody's feelings in a personal sense, I am really sorry. I actually love all of you in, like, the most sincere of ways. I'm not just saying that because I want your vote, because, like, at the end of the day, I don't like hurting people personally. That's just not my MO. It's not my thing. A game is not worth that. That being said, I'm going to kind of talk about my game and, like, kind of how I started my game. What I kind of came in with and, like, stuff like that. I want to cover a lot of topics. I'm going to include timestamps to certain parts of the video if you're curious. Because, like, even then, like, who wants to listen to me speak for, like, a good however long? I understand. It's going to be a time. And I hope some of you watch this. If not, then yikes. But here we go. So, first things first, I want to talk about my mindset coming into this game, because I remember this pretty well. Like, I was still, like, I was on, like, an org high. Not really. I was on an org crash. I was in that area where I was like, okay, I'm going to play this. I don't expect to do good or, like, even make it far, because, like, I'm on that, like, really steep org decline because I've been playing so many recently. And with school and shit like that, it just was not my ideal situation. But Kevin asked me to play, and I was like, okay, you can't just say no to Kevin. Kevin's like my mom, so you can't just say no to Kevin. So I agreed to sign up and play, and it was fun. I was an idiot and didn't put my name down. I put down Duma, which, why the fuck did I do that? I would like to know too, actually. But, yeah. So, that being said, I came into this game kind of, like, nervous in a way, but also kind of hopeful. Now, I don't like to metagame, and I will say that first and foremost. But before this game, I had been spectating pretty rigorously. Yeah, that's a good word. We love that. Celestial Big Brother, because my best friend was in it. And I had got the chance to speak with Ari, who was one of the other active spectators in that game. Josh was one of the hosts. So I kind of knew them from there. And I also had the chance to talk with, have common ground with people. Oh, and Gabe too. Gabe was also in it. We love Gabe. Hi, Gabe. So I had common ground too to talk with people like Jacob and Tanner. Because, like, obviously I'm going to take that chance. I also had some more common ground too with quite a few people. Mainly Roll and Megan, because I had hosted both of them. I played with Roll before. My other common ground too, which I'm going to just preface this, is I have also hosted Alan, and I know Zach briefly, Zach K, from Alex's org, which is kind of like my staple performance thing, if you must know. But that being said, ew, don't wink, that's gross. Okay. That being said, I had a very solid chance to bond with these people, and honestly I did. I also knew Vlog from Alex's as well. Hi, Vlog. So it was really a really easy thing. Like, in all of everybody in this game was just so enjoyable to talk to on so many different levels. Like, I love all your personalities. Like, and this is just me genuinely saying this too. So let's move on to the first week, which was Brody's eviction week. I was not really nervous because I actually had talked quite a bit with Tanner during that time, and we both really bonded because we're like witch sisters and we love that. I high key, we had a lot in common in that kind of aspect, which was like bless. We love that. So that helped a lot there. And also, like, Brody kind of blew himself up early on, which made things so much simpler for me to stay off the block. So I did. And Jalen was inactive. So, like, I don't think he spoke more than maybe 15 words in the entire game. But that's a theory. It's a conspiracy theory. After that, like, the pre-jury phase seems like it went through really quickly, which is, like, kind of sad, because the pre-jury phase was really fun, because I that was the time where I got to talk with everybody and, like, really bond with them and stuff, which was great. On to Roll's eviction. This also was another part of the thing that, like, another part of this where I benefited from this eviction as well. I mean, I benefited from Brody's because it wasn't me. I mean, everyone did, but, like, it wasn't me, so I didn't care. And I wasn't really aligned with Brody either. So, like, wig. With Roll going, I hate saying that because I love Roll to death, but I actually was very honest with Megan before I cast my vote for Roll, because I knew Megan and Roll were extremely close, you know, which is fine. I love both of them. And I kind of was just very honest with Megan and said, I'm going to vote Roll because this is where the votes are going. I want you to know that is what I'm doing, because I don't want you to get blindsided if she goes. And Megan was really cool with me doing that. And it really helped me, like, stay neutral between a lot of the feuds that happened that week. Namely, that was when the Zach K versus Jackson feud happened. And Zach K versus Jackson and Ari, we'll say that. So that was lovely. I was able to kind of, like, keep my middle ground with that, because I really like Zach. I was distancing myself a little bit away from Zach because I knew, like, if I was too close, I would get blown up with him, which was not my intent there. But I kept, like, an even keel at both times between Jackson and Zach. And always Ari was, like, my fave. Like, we loved her. She was the only person that I had a one-on-one with a different name with, so that's fun. So, yeah. Alan was an interesting person in this game, for me. He was someone that I don't think necessarily, like, was ever going to target me. Like, he didn't have a reason to. He knew me going in, so, and he didn't have, like, any negative, like, relationships with me or anything like that, like he did with some people, so, like, it was helpful. And it makes me a little sad that, like, metagame was kind of, like, a big part of some of the parts of this game, because I'm not a fan of it, but, like, I don't think it was based on the part where, like, oh, it was literally just, I know these people. But, like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to ride or die with them to the end because I know them. It wasn't kind of that thing. Or I was going to target them because I knew them. Yeah, no. So Alan going was just literally a bomb waiting to go off. And I liked having that bomb in the house, because it had the same effect that I think would have happened had Zach not went under the radar, where he just would have stayed a target every week and just kept blowing up and just making people more mad at him. Which, Zach is amazing. It's not the point I'm trying to make here. But I also got a little bit of an extra bonus from taking out Alan. And that was Alan gave me I got to be part of the twist called Words of the Den, which was something that we had a comp about, actually. It was a comp that I won. Look at me go. I'm just so good. That being said, I had pretty much at that point found out some information from Alan that there apparently was a majority alliance. And apparently Ari and Jackson were a duo, which I kind of had inklings about already, because I was like, okay, Ari and Jackson are close. They're like, Ari's like a fantastic person, Jackson's a fantastic person, and Ari can like fucking beast comps. So it would make sense for them to align together. And I also had Jaws at that time as well, which was an alliance between me, Jackson, Ari. Yeah, me, Jackson, and Ari. So that being said, I took that information and tucked it in my pocket. Kind of keeping in mind that, like, I have this information. I can't tell anybody, because that was, like, part of the rules of the twist. But I can, like, remedy this if I need to. Which goes on to the later parts after Megan's eviction, which was the double eviction. So during this point in the double eviction, me and Ari had been extremely close most of this game, and we were talking about the different social standings in the house, I believe. And she told me that she was getting tired of being in the alliance with Jackson and all of them, because she was tired of feeling like a puppet, which honestly, don't blame her. Now, while I fully wanted Ari on my side, like I wanted to, like, at this point, there was a certain point in this game where Ari became my ride or die. Like, 100%. Like, I probably never would have turned on her. Ever. I cannot see a foreseeable situation where I would turn on Ari. And that's kind of was like my blessing and my curse of this game, because I just adored her. She was an amazing ally. But I also know how emotional I am. So. But that going on, this was actually my first power play of the season, was the double eviction. Especially because that, with Zach, it was Zach versus Bill. And at this point, Zach was going home. Like, everyone was pretty much confirmed about that. Zach was, like, nervous. And I believe it was Jornsey and Ari. Like, I mentioned, it was Jornsey. Jornsey mentioned to me that, like, Zach has a good case. Like, why not keep him? And honestly, I was kind of already thinking that. Because, like, I didn't want Bill in. I don't think Ari wanted Bill in either. So, like, because we talked about that too. Like, we were like, wow, like... So I talked with Ari about this possible situation. I was like, well, we could get rid of Bill. And, like, yeah, but, like, the issue that kind of stood in our way was Jackson, Tanner, and Jacob. Because they were very prominent on keeping Bill. Because he was part of their side, so it worked out for them. That being said, it was very simple at that point. And I kind of rallied some people together. Now, of course, I kind of did it in a way that it made it sound like I was giving, like, a good case on why keeping Zach was smart. So, in that case, I was able to, along with Zach, Ari, and Jornsey, able to get us three, plus Vlog, and Josh. And Josh at that time was willing to flip. Because, like, why not, right? Like, fuck these people. Let's flip, right? So, Josh, after a lot of convincing from Ari, who both were still kind of on the fence about the situation, but I was able to, like, kind of, like, give them an idea, it's fine, like, we'll be in power then, right? The vote flipped. Bill went home for, like, a good 10 minutes. And the double eviction started. At this time, This was Jackson 1 HOH, which was kind of like a worst case scenario, because we literally just said fuck you, Jackson, that last week by not queuing him in on the vote. And at this point, it was very obvious that he was pissed at me. Very pissed at me. So I believe... I'm trying to recall all of this, because, like, keep in mind, this was, like, literally a month ago, and, like, I can barely remember 5 minutes ago. At this point, he basically, like, nominated me and Zach. Zach won veto or whatever. No, Jacob won veto, took Zach off, and nominated Jornsey for a backdoor. Jornsey was the only person in this game that I was nominated against that I felt scared that I was in danger of going versus. Like, honestly, I didn't even feel scared against Ari or anybody. Like, I was not afraid of going against either Ari or Josh. I was really only scared of going against Jornsey, because Jornsey was the only person that was not, to me, was not a foreseeable threat and had very vocally challenged Jackson. But luckily, I was able to swing some votes my way, and I survived. I even was able to kind of flip Zach, who was Jornsey's number one at that point, into me surviving. And it was very bittersweet, because I love Jornsey, he's amazing. But I had to do what I had to do. And then Bill came back into the game, which was like, ugh. Not what I wanted, personally. Sorry, Bill. But, I yeeted you for a reason then, and that's kind of where that went. From that point on, though, we go into the jury phase. So, after Jornsey got voted out, we went into the jury phase. Oh, sorry. At jury phase, some people were mad at me and Ari. They were mainly mad at Ari, because she was the one who directly betrayed all of them. But, I mean, it still worked out for me. Like, there was a lot of things I feel like I did in this game that kind of fucked over people I was working with, but worked out really well for me. Pretty much the majority of the time, things worked out well for me. Which some of it may be luck, but other things I think was also just planning in general. Like, I usually considered a lot of the moves that I made and why I made them. So Tanner's blow up really kind of solidified where he was at. It left a lot of bad taste in his mouth. However, I want to preface this by saying, and make a personal apology to you, Tanner, if I hurt your feelings or felt like I was trying to, like, make fun of you during that situation. I was in the moment when it was happening, and I apologize, because I don't want to leave this game with you thinking I do not like you, or that I think it's okay to make fun of you, or in any kind of capacity. With that being said, Tanner went, rip Tanner, and then it was the vote with Gabe. Gabe was another vote that I flipped. And I flipped because so it was Gabe versus Jacob. And at this point in this game, I was weighing options. I was thinking, I need to keep myself in the middle. Mr. Mime Sunday School, which was the alliance formed to save Zach, is not going to last forever. I was fully aware of that. But at this point that I was at, I knew I needed to roll some heads. I needed to give Jacob and Jackson a little bit more power in this game so I could stay playing the middle. And the way to do that was by cutting Gabe, someone who I didn't think was going to be very useful for me later on in the game. Which sounds horrible, and I'm aware of that. And I also want to apologize to you too, Gabe, because I am sorry if I hurt your feelings at all. From not replying to you. I really was asleep. Like, I have no reason to lie about that at all. I was asleep. I have my YouTube playing at night because it helps me sleep. So, yes. So I have my laptop on. That being said, going from there, I flipped the vote on to Gabe, and I convinced Vlog and a couple others, and we flipped the vote off Jacob onto Gabe. Now, Zach and Josh were pissed, I think, low-key. But luckily, for me and having Ari there, I had a very good social stance with Josh at that point. Because, listen, this is the thing, okay? I was pretty much connected with everyone at some point in this game. I was connected to Jacob and Jackson. And by result, Bill at one point. I was connected with Ari and Josh. I was connected with Zach and Vlog. I had good relationships with Tanner and Gabe until the blow-ups. And a lot of the pre-jury people as well liked me and they trusted me to some extent. So, like, I was never in this point in this game where, like, it was like, oh my god, he's just, like, dangerous. Like, you know, like, because I didn't have a good comp record. Like, we all knew that. I got to play in a lot of POVs where I sucked. And that kind of helped me, too. Love that. But not only that, like, I just had a really good social stance in this game. And arguably, I probably played one of, if not the best, under the radar games in this game. Because I don't feel like I ever was a target. Because I didn't put myself out there to be a target. And because I didn't win comps. Why win a comp when you don't have to? Like, I think if I had to win comps to make it to this point where I'm at right now, which I kind of did near the end, but obviously that's like Final Four Veto and Final HOH. Those are the comps you want to win. I think that says something about my social game and like my strategic game even, is I never really was in danger until that point. So I did what I had to and I made the steps I had to. You know, I didn't have to rely on comp wins to make it to where I made it. I definitely had some help from some people. We will say that. Because there's no going around that. I mean, going into Jackson's eviction, which I feel kind of bad about, actually. Jackson was one of the biggest social competitors and threats to me in this game because his social game was loud. Like, he was in so much power until literally keeping Zach just cut that rope. And seeing him get that rope cut made me realize I can't have my rope cut. I can't reveal myself as a social, like, mastermind or whatever you want to call me. Because then, like, I'm outed. And when you're outed as a social player and a strategic player, that does not help you. Because it makes it very apparent to people that you're playing with, oh, he knows what the fuck he's doing. Love that. So that was kind of like my stance on that. And cutting Jackson at that point was necessary. I knew later on I had to cut one of them at some point, and it just so happened to line up with what Vlog wanted at that time. Like, cutting Vlog, where he was afraid that I was going to flip the vote, when I had no reason to flip the vote. He wanted to vote out Jackson. And that's who I voted out, because that was who was... You might as well hit one bird with two... No, that's not the right... Oh, fuck. Two birds with one stone. There we go. We're good at English. It's great. So that's how that went. However, after Jackson's eviction came the most emotionally taxing part for me in this game, and probably one of the biggest arguments people might have against me, maybe? I don't know. I feel like I'm going off Bill's exit speech here. I will say that. I'm going off Bill's exit speech. And that was me being the goat of Ari. Or the sheep, or whatever you want to call me. But I really didn't see it that way. And yes, I gave Ari a dedicated portion of my speech because, I want her here with me. I really did. And it sucks that she's not here. So this is for her. Thank you. Ari was my ride or die. Like I said, it was a blessing and a curse. I high-key never probably would have turned on her. At all. And I know that sounds so stupid. And it's a bad gameplay point. But the thing is I think everybody made mistakes in their game. I know I did. Like, I know that me being willing to fall on the sword for Ari was stupid. Well aware of it. But also, like, I didn't want to be in the end with me saying that I betrayed the person that I trusted the most in this game. It's just not my game style. It's not how I play. It's just not my thing. But the reason I believe I was just merely just a duo with her instead of like a sheep is I made a lot of moves that didn't completely benefit her. For example, having her turn on Jackson. Or, like, she separated herself, but she took a lot of the brunt from that side of the house. Because she was the one who directly betrayed them. Like, she was the one. And I got, of course, called out because, obviously, I was in an alliance with Zach during Jackson's HOH. So I got put up as a pawn. Plus, I was likable, so people weren't going to vote me out. It just made sense. But at that point, and both of us communicated from both of our sides of the house very well. Like, we had info for each other a lot of the time. Like, we had so many game talks with our personal talks, and we just kind of discussed, like, exactly where we were in the game when we were at it. And that is 100% why she was the Sharpay to my Ryan. Because literally, like, she was iconic. And we love iconics. Iconic people. It's true. But now this is probably the more questionable part of my game, which was my speech dedicated to Ari and why I did it. Because this is going to go into a later eviction that happened that I'm sure someone's going to call me out for. And if you do, that is fine. I will be willing to answer any questions that you guys have. Any questions. My speech dedicated to her. That was really just a personal thing for me. I guess it was kind of like my own way of being like, hey, I like didn't forget about you now that I'm here or anything like that, which it's literally a damn Discord game and I'm aware of that, but like it was just like it was a tribute to her basically because I think she played one of the most solid games this game. I personally do. She was an amazing ally. She was just awesome. And I wanted to give her some dedication so she was just not someone who got voted out a couple cycles ago and everyone forgot about. I wanted that to be apparent to her that, hey, you're cool. We love you. A. So, yes, Ari, when you watch this, which I hope you watch all of it, you are amazing. And if we ever play a game together again. But, after this, though, also hit me up outside the house, because I adore you. Just saying, thank you. Was the home stretch to Final 2. This was when we were at the point where it was me, Josh, Jacob, Bill, Log, and Zach. Final 6. And was I nervous? I was, actually. I was a little nervous. Because how can you not be nervous when you get to that low numbers? There's not a lot of people to nominate at that point. But I got lucky in Josh winning HOH. Now, with Josh winning HOH, I actually had Ari to think for this a little bit too. Is like I had been able to get a good relationship with Josh at that point through Ari. Like we had a trio alliance called Red Blue. I think it was called Red Blue No Green. Or it was called Blue, Green, No Red. I don't know. It was some complicated name based off based off Sleeping Beauty that I made because I thought it was funny, and like I can't even fucking say it. That's how good I am. That being said, he won, and I cut Jacob, someone who I have been keeping in this game kind of for a couple cycles now. Because he was he was a good ally at that point. He was basically alone from my knowledge. And like I said, a lot of this is from my perception. So if anyone want to call me out, they can. And I'll be like, okay, that's fair. A lot of this was from my perception. So in my eyes, Jacob was alone. And when Jackson went, which inevitably he would have gone here soon, when I flipped the vote from Jacob to Gabe, I knew that having another person there to kind of help me move along would not be a bad idea. However, at this point, it became very apparent that Josh was a comp beast. He was good at comps. Like, he was a legend at comps. And I knew that, like, staying on his good side was the more ideal portion of this part for me. Which transitioned into his eviction, in which he went out versus me, and it was kind of sad. It was sad because Josh was really deserving as well. Which I'm going to be as truthful as I can in this next portion, without trying to sound like a snarky bitch. So we're going to see how well this goes, because I mean no disrespect at all to Bill in this section, because we're at the part where he got evicted. And that being said, I want to apologize if I hurt your feelings during this. The reason I evicted you, which I think you think a big portion of it was because I was getting revenge for Ari, was not the case. I explained this to Vlog, and I explained it to Zach after you went. I took you out because I did not believe you gave me a good enough speech to stay. I have been on this receiving end of the Final Four veto getting booted when I know I deserve to be in this game. And the speech that I got from you saying that you were a goat, so that's why I should take you, or that you were, like, hated by everybody in the jury, so that's why I should take you, it just, morally, it just did not set right for me from a personal standpoint. And I could not, in my own self, rob Zach from being in Final 3, where to have a chance to be at the end of this game. And when I know he's fought really hard to be here too. Like, we've all tried really hard to be here. But I couldn't just do that. And, like, while I think my game speaks for itself, and I think I can explain my game very well, I honestly believe that, like, I made the morally correct choice for me in that matter. If I brought you to the end, would that probably have gave me an easier win? Probably. But I don't want an easy win. If I get a win, I want to know that I deserved it. And I want to make this a statement. Not saying that you did not deserve it, Bill, but, like, I just couldn't, in good conscience, cut Zach there, knowing that he fought hard to be here too. And knowing that, like, you know, you didn't really care, you were okay getting second place. And that's kind of what, I guess, just kind of solidified that reasoning for me. Going on from that, I won the final HOH, and I took Zach over Vlog. The main reason for this is I made a comment to Vlog in ceremonies why I evicted him. He made a point to me early on in the game. It was back when Ari was still in, and he said to me that he saw himself as someone who would be okay with sitting next to me or Ari in the end because he could sit there and look pretty and one of us would win. But in my own personal view, and I still believe this, I think he could have just been bullshitting me, which if he was, that's smart. Vlog was an amazing player. He was smart as hell. He was likable as hell. Like, literally, he was so fucking funny. Like, literally, and he didn't even try. Everything he said cracked me the hell up. Like, I adored Vlog. And I adored Zach, too. Zach had a really good game as well. Because I'm not going to talk shit on them, because there's no point in doing that. But from the perspective of my game, it would be really hard to argue against Vlog when we played pretty similar games. And that's kind of style that we were trying to go for. Me and Zach had to play different style of games. You know, like, Zach was very vocal during the beginning parts. I'm really good at speaking. Parts of the game, and I wasn't. I pretty much stayed my constant, like, getting info, making the moves I had to, and just did what I did. I never was in danger at that portion of the game. So, I think Zach had... from a strategic point, I believe that I could make better points of social game and stuff like that in strategic game than Zach. But it would be harder to argue those with Vlog, because Vlog probably made a lot of the same points that I did. We just kind of ended up in different areas. So that is why, inevitably, I cut Vlog over Zach. And when I cut Vlog, I gave him a special edit, because, like, he deserved it. He's amazing. He is someone that I was so glad to be in Final 3 with. So that's basically the majority of what I have to say. If any of you have any questions, which I'm sure you do, I'm sure I'm going to get called out. And if you want to call me out, do it. Like, literally, being a bitter juror is the best part of being in fucking jury. And that is the tea. That is the damn fucking tea. Is being a bitter juror is the best part of jury. All I ask is you don't vote bitter. And give me a chance to explain some of the things that I may have missed. Which is possible. I've been, like, dying because of finals. Sorry. And I want to say thank you very quickly to Kevin for asking me to play, and Kevin and Matt for just making this such an amazing game to play. So enjoyable, and I just loved every bit of it. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you have an awesome, amazing time in jury, and I look forward to talking with all of you again. Bye.